My name is Robert Ford. Myself and Matthew Dunnigan are members of Mr. Mackeys Kids. It was a program that we started to help with drug and alcohol addiction and also prevention in Southwest Florida schools. The whole project started about 8 years ago. When I was 16, I lost my older brother Petey to a drug overdose. He was on life support from December 12th to December 17th, 2009. And I also grew up in a family of alcoholics and drug addicts, so it basically helped push me to my beliefs, which are the straight edge lifestyle, which basically says you don't drink, you don't do drugs, you don't do anything that will negatively affect your health. And I take that to heart every day. I haven't exactly had many friends because of that, and I don't see it as a problem. I want kids to understand, and what we do is we make sure that kids can understand that there is a choice every time when they go out. They can choose, do I want to drink? Do I want to do drugs? Do I want to wreck my life up? And that's important to us because, well, that's important to me. I feel that these kids are too afraid, especially in high school, about, pissing off their friends, making the popular kids not like them. They need to understand that doesn't matter. That just doesn't matter. It's not important. What is important is that you are comfortable in your own skin. If you choose not to go out and drink, if you choose not to get high or stoned or hammered or whatever, it is not their decision. It is yours. They need to understand, they need to be able to see that you can go out with your friends, you can go out with your family, but you do not have to drink. And that's what we're doing with this project. And we're starting off with Mariner High later this semester. And our hope is to be able to reach other schools and just, continue the work. A lot of people will wonder why we went with Mr. Mackeys Kids as the name. Well, it's pretty simple. We like the episode where he says, "Drugs are bad," okay? And we use that in our presentation. We use that in the paper. We're not looking to bore these kids to death with statistics. We're just wanting to show them what it looks like when you're drunk, when you're high, and what can happen to you, but also that they have options, and that's what we're planning on doing with this project.
Alright, so how do you think this project went?
I would think it went pretty well, For the most part, we had a lot of interactive classes. We had a lot of kids who were, asking questions. We did run into a bit of a problem, but as far as attention span, but that's to be expected in high school students. This was definitely a good first run. This is not something I'm going to stop doing after Matthew graduates. I'm going to try and keep doing this, whether here at Mariner or other schools as well. I definitely think that this is a good experience for kids. They need to see just, what it looks like when somebody's drunk or stoned on heroin or high on cocaine. Or, they're just pill dependent. Because a lot of kids, they just get what they know. A lot of kids, they're too afraid to talk about it, even though they go through it in their daily lives. And this allows them to see that other people have these issues too. And and by us talking to them, they have a way to see, oh, there's a choice. We don't have to do this. We don't have to end up like my dad who's passed out on the couch. We don't have to end up like my sister who crashed 3 of her cars. True story. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing this again. Okay, so in your professional opinion, as a political science major, how do you think today went?
Today went pretty good. I mean, to be honest, I was looking at the class, and I mean, some of the kids were paying attention, a lot of them weren't, but I mean, what can you really expect from high school students, let alone college students? But,
Well, I mean, do you think, not to cut you off, but do you think that it would have been better off doing this in front of a middle school class?
I think that's kind of really subjective, because we did have various classes that, like the first one on the first day was pretty responsive. The second one following that was pretty rowdy. A lot of, you would say, non-compliant people.
Right.
The third one mellowed off, and today was pretty easy, no real problems. We did have those few guys in the last class, just about half an hour ago, who were being a little bit of a pain, but apart from that, things ran pretty smoothly.
What are some of the benefits to the project that we've been here for today?
Well, I think that it has reached my students on the level that it engages them. It's very informative. I think that it kind of gives them the reality of what drug use and alcohol use can do to someone.
Okay.
So I think that it's definitely been very beneficial.
Would you say there are any drawbacks or negative parts to the project?
Honestly, I mean, I really think that it's so far it's been pretty good. You know how to get their attention, which is very difficult sometimes for high school students, especially classes of my size. I have the biggest classes in the whole school, I think. And so I think, I really think that it's been, for the most part, really positive for them. So.
Okay. Now, is there anything you would say to like somebody who wants to do something that's similar to this project? Like, would you give them any advice in this regard?
Definitely, it depends on your audience. Like, for example, high school, middle school, you have to really, first it's good to know your audience, to kind of put yourself in their shoes, kind of what maybe they might be thinking and feeling, or try to remember back when you were, high school, middle school, and what would be the best way to reach them and to get their attention.
All right.
I think.
Any final comments that you'd like to make about the project?
I think, overall, I really think it's been a great project. So I'm very happy that y'all could come here and speak to my students.